What's up, everybody? Welcome to this workshop on how to build a Web3 app from front end to smart contract. I hope you guys are excited because we're about to build something really awesome. Now, imagine you come into the room right now and you see this welcome sheet on a big screen. Okay, so these are the first steps I want you guys to do so you can follow this workshop properly. First of all, join my Discord, a personal Discord where you can ask all your questions during the workshop. And I'm driving this thing solo today, so if you know some answers to some questions of people, please help me out and answer those. Of course, this is also an opportunity for you to introduce yourself in the Discord, who you are, what you do, and why you want to learn more about Web3. The cool thing is you guys get to live each other online today, but maybe this week you'll meet each other live at the JSWORLD conference. Second step, very important, make sure to download these GitHub starter files, to get them from GitHub. This is where you'll be coding, and yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but you have a fully working Web3 app by the end of this workshop. So I hope that really excites you. I already see some people coming into the Discord. I can see and hear the sounds of it. And last step, install the MetaMask. But this is a very big step with little small steps. So I made you guys a setup guide that is actually pinned at the top of the channel, of the Discord channel. So make sure to join that one first. Go say hi and use that setup guide and to go through the steps. So you have to install MetaMask, you're going to get some test Ethereum, you're going to get all the tools that you need for this workshop. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get you set up, and after that, it's go time. So let me put up some music here to really get this party started, okay? So I hope you guys are in the mood for this. And you guys can also hear this. Let me know in the Discord if you can hear this. I'm going to check if people are so let me check also. Hey, I hope you guys can hear the music, by the way. I'm going to check. Audio, let me check this to be sure. So let's see if people are already in the Discord. I'm hearing from somebody there's no music, so I'm enjoying the music here on my own. But that's okay. I'm just gonna see if I can fix something else. But in the meantime, please go ahead and do the steps, and also do and say hi in the Discord, okay? Say hi in the Discord. Awesome. Oh, Buzz is in the house. He says, you do hear me, but there's no music. That's too bad. But in that case, I'm just going to share some music inside of the Discord. Okay, so let me see what song I had in mind. And I want you to play this song while you are at home to get into the mood, okay? So here it said, I'm going to copy it to you. So Open this one up. Play this song, guys, while you are doing the steps. All right, all right, all right, all right. So, all right. That's too bad. No music to get this party started. But that's okay. I hope you guys play this song at home. I'm gonna give you a few minutes to do all of this. Okay? So, also in the Discord, say hi if you are here. We are gonna do so many things today. You're gonna learn so much about Web3. I assure you that after this workshop, you might feel like that, but you also feel very proud and very accomplished. Okay, so say hi in the Discord chat, guys, and let's go. So I'm gonna say who's pumped. Hey, let's see. Let's see if I can still do something about the music, because that'd be cool. Settings, audio. Mic, speaker. No, okay. Oh, the organization is asking me if I can play the music again. So here we go. We have a rerun. Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? Otherwise, I'm dancing here on my own. Oh, that's too bad. I'm dancing here on my own. But that's okay. If correctly, you are playing a song now at home or at the office. And, when you play that song, shake your booty a little bit, okay? Keep the energy up, because that's what we're going to need during this workshop, okay? If you are in the Discord, please let me know if all of these steps, if you have done all of these steps. Volanto is in the house. He is here. Hi guys, how is it going in the Discord? And let me know when you've done all of the steps. Okay. All right. So I cannot sing, guys, so I'm not gonna bother you with that. But sometimes, you just got to go with the flow. We're going to have lots of fun when you learn, and when it's fun and you have a lot of energy. That's when you remember the most, actually. And especially when you do it together, right? Have you ever, do something really cool with your friends, and that memory sticks with you because, of the emotions, because you was feeling. And that's the same thing, how you can achieve that with learning new things, okay? So that's what I want to give you today, to have fun and to also learn new cool stuff, but also to work hard, okay? So I'm seeing, are there people in the Discord? Are there any steps that you still need to do? Let me know. Introduce yourself. All right. Guys, I think we're going to start soon. I think we are gonna start soon. And the moment we're gonna start, we're gonna hit the ground running, okay? So if you still need to go to the toilet, you still need to drink some water, you still need to eat some snacks, make sure you have that all around your desk so you can do this thing right, okay? So because once I start, I'm not playing anymore, okay? So, all right. I think most people are actually, let's see what Folanto is saying. He's typing something right now. So I'm curious whether to see if the setup guide really works for you guys, and if you're able to, get all the tools that you need for this workshop today. And I hope you guys are playing the song at home, by the way. So, oh. Let me check with the organization one more time. Okay. So there's an exception here going on, but I am sharing my screen here, having my own camera here. All right. I think we should just start, guys. I think we should just start. Okay, so I hope you guys can all see this. By the way, I am not on Agorify or any other stream chat community. Somehow the registration did not happen. Something that happens when you do a workshop. So in case you guys are there and you don't see me there, that's why. But join my Discord because that's the best way to connect with me. Okay, so let's get this party started. Hey, let's get this rolling. Woo! I love this guy, by the way. So, what are we going to do in this workshop? Well, first, I'm going to give you a short introduction on these fundamental concepts that you need to know in order to build a Web3 app. And I would say, if I were in the room, I would say, how many of you are familiar with these concepts? But I'm not in the room. Literally, okay? So when I raise my hand like this, I want you to raise your hand as well. So you raise your own energy and you just pretend you're in the room, and it makes it all the more fun and you keep the energy up. So that's very important. If you're at the office, just be silly. Just don't care what your colleagues think. Just do the same if you agree or disagree with me. Okay, and I'm gonna go through these topics quite fast. You just saw this guy just now. I'm gonna go through this quite fast. So you can ask your questions in the Discord, but also keep in mind this is a workshop, and I'll just rather show you how things are done than only talk about it. So, but I'll show you and enough for you to know what you're doing. Part 1, we're gonna write a smart contract using Solidity, and we're going to deploy it on something called Remix, which is really cool. It's online. It's an IDE where you have your local environment where you can deploy smart contracts. After that, we'll have a very short break, depending on how much we have to do. And the second part, I hope you stay, because that's when we connect the front end to the smart contract. And that's when things get really cool, and boom, that's when you will have a fully working Web3 app. Now, who's ready and who's excited? Show it in the chat, show it in the Discord. If you're excited, please let me know. And let's continue. Well, handy to know, most of you probably know all of these things, but just a little bit of a checklist. You know, you need to know some JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and today we're going to be working with react.js. Now, let's go and keep up. But wait, who am I actually to tell you to keep up and to be here and to raise your hand and all of those things? Well, my name is Jessy in Dutch, that's how you pronounce it, but you can call me Jessy, and I am a front-end developer at Team Rockstars IT. I wasn't always a developer. I actually am graduated in law. I even worked as a tax law consultant. But once I started my career in software development, all I wanted to do was to create code with an impact. Well, that said, I love code, but I also love doing jiu-jitsu, watching anime, and code some more in the weekend. Some of you might know me, by the way, from a big platform called YouTube. No, yeah, YouTube too, but Clever Programmer, where I used to do a lot of YouTube lives. I even organized a live event in Los Angeles in 2021. And yeah, you might know me from some videos there. Also, you see my socials here. You can link up with me. Let me know how the workshop was or have any questions. I love to connect with people on tech and code. So let's go. Because you guys want to know about the project. Let me show you, but first, let me ask you a question. Are you ready? Well, unfortunately, I can't hear you guys. But in the Discord, just show me if you are ready. So let me say that. Are you guys ready? Hey, let's go. Say the word ready in the Discord if you are ready. A semaphore says ready, Freddy. That's cool. Your name, is it Freddy? Might be. might be. But people are ready to see the project. Okay? So I'm going to show you, and I hope you'll like it. Behold the JSWORLD conference first NFT minting site. So what does that mean? So imagine JSWORLD has a collection of NFTs called DevBots. And then through this site, you can mint an NFT. Or what does that mean? Jessy, what does minting an NFT actually mean? Well, you might have heard about it a long time, already for a while, but you still don't really grasp the concept. Well, who remembers Pokemon? Pokemon cards, maybe? So let's say you're a kid and you go to the store and you buy a package of Pokemon cards. Now, the moment you open up the package and you take out the Pokemon card, guess what? It's the same exact moment when you mint an NFT. Because from that moment on, you know what Pokemon card you have. If it's special, if it's ordinary, if you can trade it, if it's valuable. And the same thing is with an NFT. So until you mint an NFT, you don't know what NFT you're going to get. But when you mint an NFT, it's actually giving birth to the NFT on the blockchain. So you're creating the NFT when you're minting it. Now, this might sound a little bit vague, but when we work with it, it will become more clear and we'll get more into what the underlying technology is of NFTs. So let's get going. But let me show you the demo first. So we're going to connect the wallet. Once I do that, oh, my MetaMask will pop up. Okay, and let me move myself here. My MetaMask will pop up, and MetaMask is a wallet in which you can store digital assets. So that could be crypto, that could be an NFT, or that could be a virtual real estate. Okay, so I'm going to say volgende, which means next in Dutch. Next, connect, and oh, my MetaMask is now connected to this NFT minting site. And guess what? Now I can start minting. And as you can see, already 4 out of 13 NFTs have been minted. So still 9 NFTs that we don't know how they look. So I can show you the collection here. So as you can see, these 4 robots have already been minted. Now let me show you what we're gonna be building today fully, because guess what? I'm gonna mint an NFT right now. And oh, look, MetaMask is asking me, oh great, will you pay 0.01 girly ETH for that NFT, which is test Ethereum, not real Ethereum, guys. So here, let's confirm that. Oh, it is now being minted. Let's go to Etherscan, and Etherscan, well, just like the name says, you're scanning actually the blockchain. You're scanning data on the blockchain. And in this case, you're seeing that a transaction of minting an NFT is happening. So let me show you a little bit what happens here. At the top, you see a transaction hash. So it's a hash that is correlated to this transaction. It is happening from this address, which, if you saw that already, 0x3b, if we look at my MetaMask here at the top, 0x3b is very small, but this is my account. And oh, I think the NFT has been minted, and maybe you saw that too, because look, for the ERC721 token ID for this NFT, number 4, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. I already had 4 NFTs minted, so this is number 5. So 4 of the collection called DevBots has been minted. And let me see, and let me show you now, it's a success, okay? And let me see, if we also go, this is the NFT, the one single transaction of minting the NFT, and this is the contract that holds all of the transactions of those NFTs minted. So these are the previous robots, and look, this is the one we just did 1 minute ago. How cool is that? Plus, that's probably not even the coolest. Hopefully, it's already in my collection here. Hey, let's go. We have 5 NFTs, 5 minted robot here. Camellia, the girl, came here. That was the 5th NFT. So that is a fully working Web3/Dapp you're going to be building today. I hope you guys are excited. So, all right. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you're excited. Magda says, I'm in and born ready. That's awesome. Who's excited after seeing this demo? Woo! Let's go. So, what I've just been showing you was just the front end of the website. But let me show you what happens under the hood of a Dapp, a Web3 app. Okay, so you guys are probably very familiar with this, the front end, and you can build that in anything you want. Today, we're going to use react.js and just HTML, CSS, but you could also make it with styled components, Tailwind CSS, whatever to your liking. And guess what? Beneath that is the smart contract technologies. And you can write smart contracts in different languages, actually. So today, we're going to use Solidity. And you also can work with the blockchain where you use Rust and C#. Now, all of these smart contracts are actually running pieces of code running on the EVM. And we're going to use Remix to have that on a local blockchain, on a local environment. Okay, and we can deploy and test our contracts before we use our contracts on the main network, which we're not going to do today because that will cost a lot of money, okay? Because you have to pay fees, gas fees, a term you might have heard of. So let's continue because this is a Web3 app, guys. And you might be wondering, what is the stack that we're going to be using? Well, this front-end stack looks quite familiar to you probably, but we're also going to use middleware, which is front-end connecting to the blockchain. And with ethers.js, that one we're going to use today, is just a JavaScript library. We can connect the front end to the blockchain. But you can also use web3.js and Third Web. I'm telling you, all kinds of amazing blockchain software tools are coming up right now. We are going to use Remix, which is this logo, Solidity, the programming language to create smart contracts, MetaMask, and we are going to work with Ethereum-based solutions, okay, because that's what smart contract is based on. And Ganache and Truffle are actually tools where you can test and deploy your contracts on local blockchains, etc., etc. It's advanced, but yeah, there's so many amazing tools out there currently. Are you ready? Okay, I hope you guys are super, super duper ready. Now, because we're going to hit the ground running right now. But first, let's talk a little bit about what the blockchain is. And I like to keep things simple. So this is just a chain of blocks. It's nothing else, okay? But each block, especially in the case of Bitcoin, for example, contains data. And when it comes to Bitcoin, it's actually regarding the transactions of Bitcoin, but it could be any kind of data. Now, it's a little bit too technical to go deep into the technical things of blockchain, but the linked structure is actually having so much advantages when it comes to the data. So there's public access, there's the safety of data, because it's really hard to hack things on the blockchain, which causes immutability of data. That also makes sure that you have control of data. And of course, all of these things lead to trust, save money because you can check things faster. And also the blockchain, it doesn't always work fast, but you can check things pretty fast. So that also saves a lot of money. But the one thing that we want to focus on today is something called tokenization. Well, tokenization, that's the thing that has to do with NFTs, of course. So raise your hand if you know any of these NFTs. Well, you might know the Bored Ape, right? Or the Crypto Kitty. That one is my favorite, actually, I think. The Shiba Inu, and of course, the simple drawings of friends. This is what an NFT is, guys. An NFT stands for non-fungible token. Now, how many of you play poker? Okay, who plays poker here? Okay, so when you play poker, you have a poker chip, and the poker chip represents money, right? Now, with an NFT, it's actually the same thing. The NFT represents something. In the case of NFT, it's actually unique, non-fungible. Okay, so what is non-fungible? Unique. So, for example, a Bitcoin, which you can trade against another Bitcoin, and it would be of the exact same value, this is not non-fungible, okay? But let's say we make the Mona Lisa into an NFT. Well, I don't think there's another Mona Lisa in the world. Is there? we would have to ask Leonardo da Vinci, but that'd be really hard, right? So the Mona Lisa, if that's an NFT, it is unique. Okay, it represents something unique. So in this case, if you look at the screen, we have this guy with the frog head and the frog headphones, and it's actually an NFT from a collection called Azuki, and it has a token ID of 7908. Okay, so what is it? What is it about NFTs and the blockchain? Well, when NFTs are on the blockchain, you have to remember that globally, there are three things that are being stored on the blockchain. The token itself, which is sometimes also called token ID, the wallet address of the owner that holds the NFT, and the smart contract underlying the NFT. Okay, every NFT has a smart contract. And that smart contract is actually, it kind of works like a real contract, but a little bit different. So, by the way, minting an NFT will always cause and create a new token. But if you look at these three things, aren't we missing something? Is there token, wallet, smart contract? Where's the image? Where's the image? This one. Well, I'm going to show you, and let's find that out. So I want you to go to this link. So I'm going to copy this one and pop that into the Discord. And I want you to check this. So I'm going to open it up here. And whoop, I'm going to open this up here. And as you can see, we are currently at OpenSea. Okay, so OpenSea normally is a marketplace for NFTs, but what it's actually doing is actually scouring the blockchain for anything that is related to NFTs. Okay, so let's go back to our frog guy, and here we have the NFT. You can see certain things about this guy. It is owned by a user called Thor-Samurai Spirit. Okay, and it has a price history. It has the offers here, These are the properties, you know, green teal long shirt, the frog t-shirt. He has a headband. And if you click here on details, this is where things get interested, because let's click on the token ID. So I'm going to open this up and right click this. And what do you think the token ID is? And remember, where's that image if it's not stored on the blockchain? Well, we have the token ID here, which is just a JSON object. And the JSON object has certain properties, and you can see these are the same properties that's also been shown before at OpenSea. But also, guess what? This token just has a link to where the image is stored. So the image itself is not on the blockchain, but the blockchain does have the link to where the image is stored. And the image is often stored in something called IPFS. Okay, I'm not going to go into that now, but I still can show you that if we copy this link here at the top and we paste that in here, oh, there he is, the image and how it looks. Okay, so let's close this up here and let's check something else, because that's the token ID. But also, there's of course the smart contract of this NFT. And this is where things get interesting, because we also want to create our own smart contract. So at the top, you see a contract address. And as you can see, whoa, you can see all of the transactions regarding this NFT, all the transactions that have happened. And oh, it's been, they have certain functions that also were invoked regarding this contract. And so click upon this contract here. And here we can see which smart contract is responsible for this NFT. So here you can see that it has, you know, ERC 7021A, you have all the functionality. And yes, guys, this is just open. So this is just, OpenSea is actually like a GitHub of smart contracts, okay? And so you can find all of the functionality in here. And what I want to show you is the ABI, this one, the contract ABI, which is actually like the register of a book where you can see what the content is. And in this case, what kind of functions this contract has. Because let's actually talk about this, okay? What is a smart contract exactly? Well, it's a piece of code that runs on the blockchain, and it executes, manages, and logs all the transactions regarding that token ID. So what you just saw is actually like an accountant, a lawyer, and a banker in one, okay? So this smart contract, for example, could have, now let's go first to a normal version like everybody knows, your rental contract. Every 25th of the month, you need to pay rent. So you can stay there for the next month. You have a cancellation term of 2 months, and maybe you pay the deposit when you were, when you just got into the house. Well, those conditions in a smart contract, those are set in functions. And when certain condition happens, boom, the functions immediately invoke. And guess what? You wouldn't need a third party to check things. So for example, a smart contract of an NFT could be this. Let's say I created that frog guy. I'm the artist. Okay, I'm Atsuki. And in that smart contract, it says every time this NFT is being sold to another person, then the creator gets 2% of that transaction. So my NFT could be selling all over the world, and I would not need to be there to check if the transaction is really happening, because it's happening on the blockchain. The smart contract mint function and sell function is being immediately invoked, and I might be sleeping and 2%, 2%, 2% get my creator's fee. So that's what you can do with a smart contract. Okay, and that is what the hype of NFTs should be about. Now let's go a little bit further. how do you create it? Well, you can create it from scratch, but also you could use something called standards, okay? And you could use something called an ERC20 standard or an ERC 721. Today, we're going to use an ERC 721 standard because that's a standard you use for, pun intended, standard NFT minting contracts. Creating a smart contract is actually like creating pizza. You know, you can do it different ways. You can buy the dough at the supermarket and put your veggies on it, or you can go to a restaurant and buy the pizza in itself, or you can even make the dough from scratch by yourself. I prefer to go to the restaurant though. But this is just to give you a comparison on which building blocks you can use. Now, I want you to open up your GitHub files at the start of us, because we're going to get cracking. And I'm first going to give you a tour of how to use these files, okay? So let's open those up. If you haven't, if you don't have it, go to here, go to the GitHub, go to this link. I'm going to pop this one into the Discord for those of you that don't have it yet, and get the starter files, okay? I'm going to open my terminal up here. Whoop. And let's get this party started. Okay, so, all right. Now, I already some files open here, but let me close everything. Okay, like this. All right. So let me show you. Hey, there we have him. An image. So as you can see, this project consists of 3 folders, okay? And the first folder is the images folder, where you can see all the different robots. But I would suggest you don't go through them, because, you know, when you mint an NFT, you might want to be surprised still what robot you're going to get. So, and I also made all of the JSON. By the way, make this into, I saw this like this, but make this into 0.json like this. Don't miss that out. And as you can see, these are also the same as the token ID of the frog guy, because look, this one, if I pick a random one, so one that we haven't seen yet, I'm going to take this image link, I'm going to copy it, go to the browser here, I'm going to change the first thing, so I'm going to say ipfs.io/, I'm going to remove the colon and the slash here. I know it's very small, you can't see it, but once I hit enter, it should show me something different and not this. So let's see if I can do it again. ipfs.o/ I must have. Hey, we have a robot here, okay? So that is exactly how we also did that with the Adzuki guy, but then with our own robots here, okay? So where's my Visual Studio Code? Boop. Here it is. I already set these images and these tokens in an IPFS, so you don't need to do that anymore, okay? Now, let's go to the second folder. This is the minting site. This is part 2 of the workshop where we're going to be working in, and this is a workshop folder I especially made for you guys with a guide and a step part 1 and a part 2 in case during the workshop you don't know where you are, what steps you should be taking, you're coming in later into this workshop, maybe you're watching this at a different moment than when the workshop is actually happening. This is your go-to guide, okay? So I hope this helps you guys out. Now, also something regarding smart contracts, of course, here are some examples for the people that are interested in them. And also, let's go to this one. the devbots.sol, because this is our template for what we're going to be using in a moment in Remix. Okay, so who is ready? Okay, I think I said that about 1,000 times right now. I want to see some energy in the Discord. Okay, so in the Discord, say if you're ready and if you're hyped to write your first contract. So what I first want you to do is now to go to something called Remix. So www.remix-project.org. Okay, so here, whoop, I'm pasting it into the Discord. And yeah, go to IDE at the top here. Whoop, and then you go to the Remix Online IDE. Now you can close this one. Now let's close this too. Now that you are here, you should be seeing this, okay? And what you're going to do is we're first going to create a workspace. So put create here and say JSWORLD Web3 workshop. And say, okay, you can leave the template to default, by the way. Alrighty, so if correctly, you're going to see some folders stepping out here at the contracts. So that's really good. Let me know in the chat if you are here currently. And guess what? We're now going to go to the starter files. And we're going to copy this. We're going to get it. We're going to say Command C and paste that in. Well, we first have to make a file, of course. So sorry about that. So here, a file, and then call that devbots.sol. Now, boom. We're going to, and you'll see that Remix is very strict. So you'll see that sometimes when you forget a semicolon or you have another kind of error, it will let you know. Okay, so now that we have the contract here, let's see how this works. So, as I was saying, so first, let me give you a tour of Remix. So, to set things up. If you've done this correctly, all of your packages will start installing here. So you can click that. You can make it a little bit smaller. So whoop, doop, doop. Now it looks a lot cleaner. And I'm going to keep contracts open. So I have devbots.sol on the left. Then make sure at the bottom you have a terminal and make sure that's a little bit up. Not too much, but a little bit. So you can see what's happening here actually. Now, let me put myself here in the corner. We are now currently at the File Explorer. But if we go a little bit further, you can search here. This is the Solidity compiler. And as you can see, I'm getting a green mark there, which is good. But in case you have an error in your contract, you will see an error, okay? And even when I, for example, remove this semicolon here, I'm saving the, oh, you already see it. It will let you know. Okay, it will let you know. So here it says it's missing, expected a semicolon, but got a function at line 18. You check here line 18, you see a red arrow and I, explanation mark, and here you can see your error actually. So here, it's very helpful though, in order for you to remove that error as soon as possible. So what I want you to do is to set the auto compile. Otherwise, you have to do it. Now, you saw that when I changed this, and I changed it again, it starts auto-compiling out of itself. So that's what we want. Now, here at Advanced Configurations, make sure to click the Enable Optimization. It's just so that, you know, it's not going to cost you too much gas fees to do all of these. When we deploy a contract and when we're going to be minting NFTs after. Now, this Solidity compiler, when that is correct and everything has the green light, you can go to the next one, and this is where you deploy contracts and you use the functionality of your smart contract. So if you look at the environment here, there are a lot of environments you can test within Remix. But first, we're going to use the Remix VM virtual machine called London. London's calling. So within this environment, we have an account. It was given to us by Remix. And this is the account number, okay? So it starts with 0x5b3. Now, then there's all kinds of stuff you can do. You can pass money to this through this environment. And as you can see, we have about 100 Ether here, fiction, of course. And when we do things, we can test our contract here. So this is an environment where you can test your contract, so that when you use it on the mainnet, it works perfect, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the contract itself. If you look at the contract, there are a few functionalities in here. And as I said, making a smart contract is like creating pizza, right? So here it just works as classes and inheritance in this case. So you can say that DevBus is inheriting all functionality from the standards called ERC 721, ERC 721 enumerable, and ownable. Okay? Now, if you go to your browser and you go to a company called OpenZeppelin, like this, let me put this one inside of the Discord, but just in a moment, go to Learn and Docs, go to Contracts, and then go to Wizard. So what this does, Zeppelin is a company that has this tool that creates standards of contracts for you. So yeah, you already have standards of contracts you can use, and this is a tool to make those standards for you even more easy. So we're going to choose ERC 721. You're going to say something like DevBus, DBS, and I've done all of these things for you. So your code is already correct, but I just wanted to show you this on how this looks, okay? So you can copy this code, paste it into Remix, and you can even add your own functionality to it. So I've already done that for you here. And so let's first look at the mint function, because that is one of the most important functions of this contract, right? So let me look a little bit. Let me check something before we try things out. All right. Now, this save mint function here is a public function, okay? And it's actually calling another save mint function. And which one is that, you think? Well, this save mint function actually exists within the standard of ERC 721. So we can use that. And remember the moment when I was here and I hit mint, that's actually when the mint function of the contract gets invoked. In this case, actually the mint function that comes with the standard of ERC 721. Now, the moment that happens, there's also this MSG message object that has certain properties in it. So the moment I do the mint, it knows, hey, the person that invoked this function, I'm going to grab that wallet address, I'm going to grab that MetaMask layer, which in why it becomes more clear later, and I'm going to take the token ID of the NFT that's being minted right now. So that's what you have to pass into this save mint function. Now, before we mint an NFT, we always want to make sure that that's the NFT next in line to be minted of the collection of NFTs. Remember when we had the 4 robots and then I minted another one and it had a token ID of 5 or even, 5. So it was the next one in line. Yeah, that's why we increment the token ID. So That's what you will see here. And you can say token ID counter.current. It also comes from a standard, and it will increment automatically. Now, let's do something fun and deploy a contract. Okay, so the first thing you always do when you deploy a contract, you are checking which environment you are deploying it to. So we're going to do that at Remix VM London with this account here. And as you can see, everything has the green light. Now, I want you to pay attention to this terminal at the bottom when I hit deploy. Oh, something's happening. I got a green mark. Plus, look here, I got the deployed contract on my left side. And do these buttons look familiar? It has all of the functions that are also inside of my smart contract and that I inherited from the standards of other standards. So let's do something fun and click on Save Mint. I believe you've just minted your first NFT on a local machine inside of Remix. How cool is that? Does that look cool? So here you can say transaction mined and execution exceeded. So that's really cool. Now that I've minted one NFT in this environment, in this account, okay, with this account, I can check certain things. Okay, so what I can do is I can check the balance, my own balance. Okay, so remember, smart contract is like a banker, an accountant, and a lawyer at the same time. So in this case, it's the accountant, okay, that says, hey, by the way, your balance looks like this. So let's, inside of here, let's copy this address, whoop, like this. And it starts with 0x5b, if I recall. Okay, like this. And boom, call, and hey, it's giving me a 1 because guess what? I have one NFT in my possession on this account. How cool is that? Let me check the Discord in the meantime. Okay, so no questions so far. That's great. Now, if I do save mint again, what do you think the number will be if I call this balance off function? Hey, I have 2 NFTs in possession now. So let's check another function and let's try the owner of. Okay, the owner of function. So let's go to this function and pop this one out. And so I have minted 2 NFTs. So what do you think the token IDs are of these NFTs? Let me know in the chat if you know what these are. Let me know in the chat if you know what these token IDs are. Well, that's right, 0 and 1. Okay, so here, let's say, am I the owner of 0? I'm going to call, and I should be seeing the account that starts with 0x5b. Now let's ask if I'm also the owner of the token ID 1, and it still gives me my address. Did I also mint another NFT, the third one maybe, that might have a token ID of 2? Let's see what it says. Oh, it did not go right. This address is from the previous call, but if you look here, I did not get a green mark. I got here an error message that says reason provided by the contract ERC 721 invalid token ID. So because, guess what? When you haven't minted an NFT yet, it does not exist. So the token ID does not exist. Okay, so that's why it gives you an invalid token ID. Now let's close this up and go further to the token URI. And so let's give a token of 1 here, the token ID of 1, and let's call it. And what do you think I'm going to get? What do you think I'm going to get? Exactly, I'm going to get a URL with the token ID of 1 which, remember, is also equal to a JSON object. I'm going to say ipfs.io/remove:/. Hey, let's go. We have Grover here with the who loves tomatoes but hates eggplant. And here we can also check the image again. Show you. Hey, it's the purple one. Which robot it is. So does it? I hope this all starts to make sense right now, how the token is related to the image and how it's also related to the smart contract. Okay, so let's really start writing something. And we've done all of these 5 steps at the top. And when I use the mint function, I'm the visitor of the website. I hit mint and MetaMask pops up, right? It's asking me to pay something. So that means money has to go through the save mint function. And in order to do that, we're going to use, it's very simple actually. You're going to say payable. So this makes the save mint function, this makes that it's going to do something with money. Money is being sent through this function, okay? Now, when you say, hey, you can mint this NFT if you give me 0.01 Ether. So what if somebody gives you 0.0001 Ether? You're going to say, that's not enough. You have to give me more money, right? So let's put that in here and write a so-called requirement, which actually works like an if-else statement. So say require, and remember that MSG object, well, it can also check what kind of value you are sending with the wallet that you're using. So in this case, MetaMask, and say, hey, the value that you're sending has to be at least and bigger than 0.01 Ether. Now, in case this function is true, it will run the total function here. But in case it's not, there is a so-called break statement after this, and that says, hey, you have to give me more money. I also have to put the semicolon at the end, otherwise Solidity will complain. Okay, so I don't know if I already said this, but I think I did. Every time, or you can imagine it, every time you change something about your contract, guess what? You need to redeploy it again. So we need to redeploy it so we can also see this function working. Okay, so let me check something out first. By the way, is everybody here? Is everybody understanding? Let me know in the chat who's still excited and coding with me. Hey, let's go. I hope a lot of people are. So let's talk money again, and still, because you might be wondering, when you look at this, you say 0.01 Ether. How is that possible? Okay, so I want you to look something up, and I want you to say Ethereum unit converter. And I want you to go to this website, eth-converter.com. I'll pop it into the Discord so you guys have it. Awesome. Thanks. Somebody says, look straightforward till this point. I'm glad to hear that, because this part is not easy. Okay, guys. So this is the Ethereum unit converter, and oh boy, you're going to be using this a lot. Okay, so let me explain this to you. And I always think this is really fun and also really remarkable, and you're going to see this in a moment. So Ethereum has 3 units, and the smallest unit is something called WEI, W, or GUI, okay, or Ether. And you can kind of compare this to the European metric system, okay, millimeters, centimeters, and this is something like meters. Okay, that's how you can sort of compare it, but not totally, because look, if I say what is equal to 1 ether in Gwei or Wei, check it out. That's a whole lot of zeros right there. So why is that? Well, first of all, you have to remember this unit. So I'm going to double, triple border this, because under the hood, even when you use Gwei or ether, under the hood in Solidity, it is always converted in Wei. Wei. Wei, okay? Wei. So under the hood. So if you ever are working with Ethereum and the units and you're like, whoa, what is this number? Wei, okay? So that's what you have to remember. And that is also because Solidity does not take any float numbers. So you cannot take any float numbers. So that's why sometimes you have to use a smaller unit so you can make a bigger number so you don't use any floats. Does that make sense? I hope so. You're going to be working with this very soon. So let's say, for example, we want to say 0.01 ether, like this. And so we would know in Gwei, that's a 1 with 7 zeros, okay? With 7 zeros. Now, let's go back to Remix. And let's first, let me check something. Yeah. Remove this contract because we have changed something here. So remove this one first. Boop, like this. And then it should be green. Okay. And then even if I remove this semicolon, it's not going to compile. Okay. So make sure that is green. Always check your environment here, your account. I'm going to deploy the contract. Hey, that went well. Okay. And now I'm going to open this one up. And I want you guys to hit save mint. Okay, I want you guys to hit save mint and tell me in the Discord what error you're going to get. What error you're going to get. What error, I'm putting it in the chat, are you getting when hitting save mint? Alrighty. I hope, please guys, give me some energy in the Discord. I hope you guys see this. So, okay, let's hit save mint. Let's do it. And watch the terminal, okay? Oh! I wonder why that is. Well, reason provided, you have to give me more money because we changed the contract and we had that requirement statement suddenly in there, and this function now is expecting money. So it is expecting money. So how do you think I can do this? Exactly. Dutch Viking says in the Discord, false transaction mined, but execution fails. And he should look a little bit down and he's probably getting that error message. Okay. So how will I send any ETH? Well, go to the top of your environment and guess what? You can send money through here. And you can say 1 and give it 7 zeros. And be secure with the zeros. Okay, so 7 zeros and a Gwei. Okay, so do not, I repeat, do not deploy the contract. Do not deploy the contract. What you're going to do now is you're going to open up your contract and now you're going to hit save mint. And hey, we have sent test Ethereum through this local environment and minted our first NFT with money. How cool is that? How cool is that? I hope you guys are pumped. Okay, I hope you guys are pumped. So let's continue further because we still have lots to do. Because now when your user can mint an NFT, you don't want them to do that endlessly, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to write another requirement statement. And we're going to say require total supply. It's a function that we can borrow from ERC 721 enumerable. So let me put this a little bit down like this. Whoop. And we're going to say this actually, it says total supply, but actually it's about the amount of NFTs that have been minted up until so far. So the current minted supply, current minted NFT. So remember the 4 robots that I had before is now 5. That's the total supply. Okay, and it should not exceed 13 dev bots that I have in my collection, the max supply. So this one should be smaller than or equal to the max supply. And when this statement is true, then the rest of the functionality will also go. That's how requirement statement works. But in case it doesn't, you say you have reached the limit. Now, and this max supply, I've already written that for you guys at the top. It's a variable. It's how you define a variable in Solidity. And it's a whole integer, uint, unsigned integer, big as 256 bits. Okay, in blockchain, you have to be very careful with memory allocation. And in this case, it's max supply variable. So this is the require statement. And of course, I need my semicolon here, because otherwise Solidity is not gonna like that. Okay, so I want you guys to really let me know if, raise your hand, if you have MetaMask installed right now, if you have MetaMask, and if it's pinned to the browser where you're currently working with Remix. So let me open mine. Mine is connected now to Remix. So let me disconnect that to give you guys more clarity and start fresh. So make sure you are connected to the Girly test network. Now, in case you don't have this, it's actually a settings here at advanced, okay? And you have to turn this on, show test network, okay? And once you have that on, the Girly network will pop up. If you only see the main network, that's not correct, okay? Go to advanced and change this. So select this one here. It's not connected, so I'm gonna close MetaMask now. I'm going to the top of my here on my deploy, and everything goes well. My smart contract is still working fine, but let's change the environment that we are currently in. Go to, Buzz says, I forgot something. Yeah, in working with Remix, you have to be really careful in what smart contract am I currently working now, okay? So, also, by the way, guys, make sure you have the Girly faucet. You have some money in your MetaMask wallet, okay? So, now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna change the environment. So pay attention, because this is going to get really exciting here. So injected provider, and oh, you see that? MetaMask is popping up and is asking me to connect with Remix. So now it's connected. Hey, it's connecting. And as you can see, the previous deployed contract got removed because guess what? I am in a different environment right now. I am now on the Girly test network. Okay, which is not the main net Ethereum network, it is the Girly one. So it's a separate blockchain, a separate network. Okay, so keep that in mind. But now we are really testing things there. We're gonna do things here. So what I'm gonna do, of course, is I'm gonna deploy this contract. And, oh, see, it's happening. Here, it's happening. And I have to put confirm here. And now, as you can see, it is being deployed. We have to check in on Etherscan. Currently, the contract is happening as we speak. It's being created on the Gurley test network. Okay, it is being created here. So it always takes some time, and you often see bubbles and a lot of loaders in NFT minting science. Let me check out the Discord in the meantime. How's everybody doing? Oh, it's here. It's here. Look, the contract is created. So we can go here, and it happened from my address, which is the 0x3b2. As you can see in my MetaMask, that's true. It's here, 0x3b2. And boom, let's see what it has. Oh, my contract is created on the Gurley test network. How cool is that, guys? You deployed your first contract. Okay, so let's pop open this contract here. Now, what do you guys think we're going to do now, huh? What do you guys think we're going to do now? We're going to use the save mint function, and we're going to mint an NFT and send money to the Gurley test network. So what you got to do is you got to go here again, and you say 10000000 with 7 zeros. Do not redeploy your contract. I repeat, do not redeploy your contract. Now what we want to do is we want to hit save mint. Hey, check it out. MetaMask is asking you to pay 0.01 Gurley ETH. Okay, so I'm going to confirm this. And the moment I do that, woo, as you can see, devpods.savemint, the save mint function of this contract, is working his butt off. And this NFT is now being minted to the Gurley testnet network. How cool is that, guys? I hope you love this. This is your first NFT and minted on a test Ethereum network called Gurley, okay? And you actually sent real test Ethereum to gain this NFT. And oh, there it is. It's, of course, the NFT with a token of 0 of the collection called DevBots, okay? And if we look at our contract, there we can see it. Next to the content creation, we also have the save mint functionality here, which means our NFT that's been minted. How cool is this, guys? How cool is this? I hope you guys like this. Let me see. Let me show you in. Let me show me in this chat how much you like this and how it's going. Okay, so I think this is really cool. But of course, best is if we can show this also in the front end. So this is part 1. You have minted your NFT. Everything in the blockchain works, and your smart contract is perfect too. So let's get going. Alrighty. So let's take a short break for people also to catch up. Really, really short. Also for some questions in the Discord that I can answer in the meantime. And it's unfortunate I cannot play music, but just, this is your break to go to the toilet for very shortly. I'm going to be very short. Okay, so be back on time. Hey. also deploying it and also using test Ethereum and a wallet to get this all done. And I'm so excited for the second part, because that's when we will connecting the front end to the smart contract that you just made. So we're going to continue in a bit. I hope you're back behind your desk, and let's get this party rolling. Okay, let's get this rolling really, really quickly. Hey, because now it's time for part 2 to connect the front end to our smart contract. And as you know, I have prepared the starter files for you guys here. So let me put this to the side like this. I hope you guys can read it. If it's too small, let me know. And go to the second folder, so the JSWORLD minting site, and go to app.js. Now, I'm going to put myself, where should I put myself? Put myself here on the left side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one also smaller, put that in here, and I'm going to open up another tab. And here I'm going to grab my terminal. Whoop. And of course, we have to run this baby. So let's say, so here, by the way, inside of your folder, this is the full folder, but you have to go to this folder, okay? This one. That probably makes sense for most of you people, but I'm just going to point it out. So go to this folder. So say JS minting site, and there you say npm run start. And yes, I would love to run it on a different server because I have the deployed version, and boom, there it is. It's here. Okay, mine is here. And I know it's here because when I click connect wallet or anything, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's make sure my MetaMask is disconnected here. You might have to do that a lot of times today. Yeah, just to test things out. Okay, so let's put this to the left here and start rolling. Alrighty, I hope you're ready to really start coding, guys. Also make sure to run your app, and yeah, who remembers the first step that we've done in the deployment? So here, when we had the first version, the final version, this is when I hit connect wallet and MetaMask pops up. Okay, now not because it's already connected, but that's what it should do. Okay, so here we want that to happen as well. So let me make this a little bit bigger and shorter like this. Whoop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the login function. And inside of the login function, we're going to check whether MetaMask is actually installed. And this is where JavaScript is really amazing, actually, because nowadays you can just do this. You can say if type of window.ethereum is not undefined. So when it's there, whoops, when it is there, check, woohoo, MetaMask is installed. Alrighty, like this. So let's check that out. Okay, so I'm going to open up my console here on the right side, and I'm going to hit connect wallet. Woohoo! It knows MetaMask is installed. So that's awesome. And you're going to write everything now inside of this if function. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Now that it knows that my MetaMask is installed, we want to retrieve, of course, the account of that MetaMask. Okay, so say accounts is await, because when you have to retrieve information from the local environment, from the injected provider in this case, you always have to wait for something. So window.ethereum Ethereum.request. And in that request, you're going to ask for something. You're going to say method eth-request accounts. Alrighty, and it's complaining because it doesn't like this semicolon, doesn't need to be there either. So this. Now, what I already know is that my wallet account, if it's in accounts, it is always the first one. Okay, so account 0. And let's check this out. Let's say hello account if you are here. Okay, so I want to see if my wallet account will come up. Wallet account, by the way, not wallet accounts. It's just one account. Okay, and of course, when we have that, we're going to set the account. And I already have those state variables at the top. So you only have to say set account, wallet account. Okay, so let's see if it can really grab the account of my MetaMask. Now, let's refresh this. Let's make sure my MetaMask also not connected. So let's refresh this, connect wallet. Hey, MetaMask is coming up even because woohoo, MetaMask is installed and now it's actually requesting like, hey, MetaMask, can you connect with me? Then say connect, boom. Yes, hello MetaMask, we're connected and I can see that you have a wallet address of 0xb2 something something. Okay, so that's really cool. Now your account is connected. Now, remember in our deployed version, when we did have the connected, once we're connected, so I'm going to show you here, once we're connected, we want this button to change, right? Because the moment we connect it like this, then once it connected is also your call to start minting. So let's make that a conditional render. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say account, because we set that account, and I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a ternary operator, and account, say, okay, if I have the account, you can start minting, and you can change this into mint, and this into mint as well. Otherwise, give me the connect wallet if your account is not connected, if your wallet is not connected yet. And as you can see, it starts changing immediately into the start minting button because we have connected our MetaMask. So that the account is connected. So that's already enough proof. Let's go to the next step. And because we've done the first step and we've done the second step, and the third one. Okay, so let's clean this up and gradually stay with me, guys. You are very, very, you're getting there. So here, now, before we start using functions of this smart contract, we of course have to connect the smart contract. And in that case, we have to go through that. We have to connect with that injected provider. Right? So there are a few lines of codes that we have to write here. So first of all, remember when we were in Remix, remember you deployed this contract and where you saw all of the transactions. So this screen, I hope you did not close it because this is very important. You have to copy this contract address. Okay, this contract address at the top. Okay, you have to copy that one. So if you don't know this, go to your Remix and this address at the top, it should be the same as this one. Okay, so copy this address and here say, inside of the is function, say const contract address is string. Now, there are many ways to do this more secure, but today it's about simplicity, okay, and to show you guys how this is done. So what you're going to do is you're going to need something called a provider, okay? And for that, we're going to use the ethers.js library I was talking about earlier. Now, I already installed that for you guys here. So the only thing that you need to do here is say import ethers from ethers. Boom, like that. If you want to know more about ethers, you say ethers.js documentation. In Google, it will pop up, and this is where you get the documentation. Now, you're going to press here, getting started. So what we just did also is use this import statement. Very important. And in case you want to know how to connect ether.js, how to work with MetaMask, this is what you need to do. So we just did this. We want to connect with the provider and have one. Plus, we also need something called the signer, okay? And that's just to help you sign things that happens with the account. So ethers, let me, by the way, first finish this one. So let me just copy this one. Whoop, like this. Oh, I thought that was quicker. Like this. Okay. And also the get signer here, this one, functionality. And inside of the get signer here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the wallet account that was retrieved, which is my account. Okay. And once I have that, once I have all of these, once the environment knows, hey, you are working with which contract, that's when we can get the actual contract. So let NFT contract and say new ethers dot contract with a capital C, and you have to pass in the contract address. You have to pass in the signer, but you also have to pass in something else, which is called an ABI. Now, what is the ABI? Who remembers what the ABI is? If you remember what the ABI is, let me know in the Discord who remembers what the ABI is. Okay, remember when we had that Atsuki guy, this dude, the frog dude, when we went to the smart contract, there was something called an ABI. And what was it? It was like the register of a book, correct? Who remembers this? Oh, sorry. Who remembers this? Well, guess what? Your smart contract also has something like this. So go to Remix. Do not change anything about your contract. Okay, so maybe close this. And what you're going to do, make sure you're using the contract, you know, the same contract that you've deployed. Go to the compiler and go to ABI here. Okay, go to ABI. So let me point it out with a big fat arrow. If it comes up, whoop, this button, click it. Okay, and so this ABI, you're going to paste that into your file. So what you're going to do is, so let me pop this open and say in source, we're going to make a folder called manual. And here we're going to name a file called abi.json because it is a JSON. And then guess what? Boom, we're going to pop that all in. And so it's a register of all the functions that we have in our smart contract, okay? And once we have that, we want to use it, we need to import it at the top, of course. So import ABI from manual / ABI.json. Hey, let's go. So once we have the smart contract, we want to make sure that we really have it, you know? So let's do this. Let's say console.log NFT contract. And let's check it out in the console. Of course, when we have the contract, let's also set it like this. So let's refresh everything. Let's disconnect MetaMask again, like this. Boom. Let's refresh the whole website and boom, let's connect it. Hey, MetaMask comes up. Woohoo! Next is going to connect. The contract is coming up, and it's showing me all of the functions that are inside of this contract, just like we had those in Remix. I hope this starts to click now. Yeah, with this kind of things, it's just, seeing is believing, and that's when your brain is like, oh, wait, I've seen this looks familiar, now it's connecting, okay? So that's really cool. We have this contract, and guess what? Now that we have this contract and we also set it as a state variable, we can start using, that's right, the mint function and other functions of that smart contract. So also, let's first, before we go into the mint function, let's first, set a total supply on that the NFTs that can be minted. So let's go to step 5, because you don't want your users to mint endlessly. So here we say use effect. Oh, that was fast. Okay. But wait, I want to do this a little bit more slow, like this. So use effect, like this. And you're going to give it the dependency of the contract, because actually the total supply, you can only know from the contract. Remember, it's also an accountant, it's also a banker and a lawyer. You can only know from the smart contract how many NFTs are still to be minted, right? With the current, how many there are still to be minted and how many have been minted up until now. So if contract is true, then call the get total supply function. And inside of this function, it actually means we have to get data from the smart contract. So we always want to work with async and await. So here we're going to say const total supply is await contract, our smart contract, total supply function. Does that look familiar? I think it does. Now remember, everything from the total supply always from the contract comes back as a big number. This is a big number. Okay, so what we're going to do before we set the supply, we're going to say total supply dot to number. But I want you to log out this total supply so you can see what it really is. And when we have set the supply in the front end, we want to show that, of course, how many things have been minted from the 13 dev bots. So here we say supply. So I hope you guys are ready. So let's see if we can show this. So let's see if we can show the big number. Okay, let's see if we can show the big number of the total supply. So the Connect Wallet, MetaMask, boop, boop. Hey, it is a big number. Okay, so with total number, it becomes a normal number. Now let's continue. Let's continue with writing the mint function, which is, of course, the most important function of this whole smart contract. Okay, once we have this function, everything afterwards is great, but it's just front end and little things that we need to think of. Okay, so this mint function, let's go here, and first of all, it has to come up when we're minting, so it has to be on the mint function. Okay, and let's say minting an NFT is always a transaction. Like, who remembers my contract here with the first transaction and the transaction hash here? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to say const transaction. And of course, we're working with a smart contract here, so we have to await and say contract.save mint. And this is the function that will be invoked once we hit the mint button. And of course, once we do that, we need to give it some money, because remember, my smart contract will otherwise start complaining and say, hey, you have to give me more money. How can we give this payload? We can just do this. We say const payload, we give it an object with a property or value, and guess what? This is really cool. ethers.parse, utils.parse ether 0.01. And that's how you send money through a function. So what else do we know? When the transaction happened, like it did happen here, we're going to get something called a transaction hash. So when the transaction is finished, let's print out this hash, transaction hash, and see how that looks like. Plus, we also have to set this hash because we're going to use this hash later to actually check this one out in Etherscan. Okay, so I'm going to remove this console log with the big number, but I want to see if that transaction hash really comes up. Okay, so I'm going to refresh the whole page. I'm going to disconnect my wallet here. We're almost there, guys. Keep going. Okay, keep going. So connect wallet. Connect wallet. Woohoo! The contract is coming up. Oh, wait. It became bigger. Now, I have to, of course, press the mint button. Whoop. It is, it's minting, and it's asking me for the 0.01 girly ETH. That is the payload. So MetaMask is asking me, hey, do you want to pay that? So confirm this, and boom, we get the transaction hash. And now, so the money is being sent to the girly test network. And if we actually check our contract here, and we're gonna say refresh this. Oh, hey, do you see that changing? It is 13 seconds ago. The second NFT got minted through my front end right now because I connected it with the smart contract. How cool is this, guys? I hope you guys are super pumped. And you know, I hope this is really cool for you guys. At least it is for me. So now, this is really cool, guys. You guys minted your NFT. So let's pump this front end up a little bit and make it look like the deployed version, okay? So what we're going to do here is go back to this section here. We're at step 7 right now, so keep going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this mint button here. I'm going to say get state and call it. Now, the getState function is actually just a function that shows the different phases of this whole process, right? The moment we start connecting is actually when you can start minting. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to pass the mint function. And the start minting button is just the same as this button, but once it starts minting, when we go to the mint function here and we have minted, so we get the transaction half and everything goes well, and if everything goes well, here at step 9, we set the progress variable to true. So that means the NFT, the transaction is happening. That's when Etherscan, you know, is doing the bubbles. So that's when we're going to get as well, because here, if I open this up, and you can see in getState, there's an in progress variable, which is also here. And we're checking that on true now. And once it is true, please give me the in progress minting component, okay? And this is actually the button that will say check Etherscan. Check the transaction of the minting happening. But in order to do that, we do need to pass it in the hash of the transaction once it has been done. So what we're going to do here, you're just going to say hash, like that. So that way, the in progress, the check Etherscan, when you click upon it, it invokes a function called check Etherscan, and it's going to use the link and that transaction has at the end and opens the thing up where you can see the transaction. Okay, so I just made it a little bit easier for you guys today. Okay, now of course, when it is in progress, we have to await that transaction, the mint transaction actually happening. So that's what you do when you have await here. Now, once the transaction is done, then of course, we're not transacting anymore. So the in progress is being set to false, but we are coming to a different component, which is the completed one. And that's why we set the component's completed status to true. We go here to complete minting, and I want to show you guys this because go to the complete minting component here for a moment, and you can check things out. So you might have to change this, but what I want you to do now is I want you to go to your contract address here, okay? So I'm going to refresh this because this is probably not pending anymore, as you can see. Now, copy this address, this contract address, copy it, and go to the testnets. Testnets.opensea.io. Okay. I'm going to paste that into the Discord, testnets.opensea.io. And I'm going to search on that contract address like this. And as you can see, my collection comes up with how many NFTs? 2 NFTs, 2 items. And oh, it is the 2, well, this one is missing somehow, but it's the 2 NFTs that we have just minted. How cool is this, guys? Your own collection on the on OpenSea. So let's run this baby full, okay? So what you're gonna do, by the way, go to your collection here and take this URL, and paste it at the top. So remove this one and paste it at the top. And I set this one because in case sometimes people don't see it somehow, but now I've shown you how you can retrieve that. So now you got the right URL, okay? And now let's run this baby in full. Okay, so go to React app, go to your React app, save everything you have. Okay, clear the console here, MetaMask, close it up, disconnect it, whoop, and let's see what happens, okay? So guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so we're gonna say connect wallet. We're gonna say here, we're gonna connect the wallet. It's giving me the contract. Now I can start minting. So now it also tells me you have already minted 2 NFTs. And oh, it's asking me to confirm the payment for the 3rd NFT. It's being minted right now. So let's check Etherscan. It's happening right now. And also the bubbles in my app are coming up. Okay, so it's happening right now. The 3rd NFT of our Dapp is being created right now. Oh, I hope you guys, oh, there it is, the NFT with a token ID of 2. So let's go to the contract. And I got 3 minted NFTs right now. And if I go to the React app, I'm going to go to view at OpenSea. And hey, it minted my 3rd robot. This is the full extension of your Web3 app, guys. If you've gotten up until here, congratulations. This is your fully working Web3 app. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. I hope you guys like this. What you can do with this collection, by the way, you can edit it. You can go here, you can edit it, and you can change all kinds of stuff about this collection. So it looks a little bit more like we have here, and you can make it look like this. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the Discord what you thought of this workshop. I had so much fun doing this. Thank you, JSWORLD Conference, for this opportunity. Thank you guys all here. I hope that everybody was able to watch this and have fun and learn something new. And let me know what you thought of it. Bye.